Welcome to this YouTube channel as you follow on episode of Leo Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you. This episode talks about the experiences of Timothy Thagana in Congo, DRC. Remember, in episode 3, Timothy had traveled to Congo and have gone through summit, through difficult situations to go to Walikale where the training is. And now, in this episode, the training is over, the delegates are excited, everyone is going back to their home, ready to go and multiply in the next 90 days. But here the challenge is the facilitators have to go back all the way. The same journey, the same difficult situation like we saw them going. Now it is time to go back. And we want to welcome Timothy to tell us firsthand the experience of coming back. So Timothy, the training is over.
Yes.
I know the delegates are so excited. They want to go train. And you and your team are excited. I don't know whether you're excited to come home to Nairobi, or at this point you are just thinking about reaching Goma.
Yeah. Now the excitement was twofold, because for me, my journey was two-way. I had to get to Goma for me to get to Nairobi, and you can imagine by this time I had been away from home for almost a week and a half, and my family was missing me. I was missing them too. We had very limited communication because in Walikale there was no internet connectivity, and so communication with the family was a challenge. You could send a message in the morning, they receive it in the afternoon, so we could not. My kids are not yet at a point where they can text, so mostly we do video call or voice call, and so the internet could not allow any kind of voice call or video call. So they will text through my wife, tell dad we are saying hi, tell dad we are missing him. So I was really looking forward to getting back to Nairobi, but first we had to get to Goma, and so I was really looking forward for those both journeys, and all my mind was going round was, now will we have to go back again on a motorbike, or there is going to be a different easier, safer and faster route to Goma?
Well, that's a great question, viewer. Now, when we go for missions like this or trips like this to different culture, foreign nation, you can hear some of the challenges, particularly with communicating with back home with family. That here is Timothy in Walikale. There's no internet. He's not able to communicate with the family. He cannot speak to the children. He is anxious, and they too are anxious. That is one of the challenges that cross-cultural witnesses or missionaries or people who are taking the gospel face out there. And this is why we are celebrating them as the Leo Christmas. When somebody goes out and cannot communicate with their family, but they still feel they're going to obey the call to take the message, that is Leo Christmas. Leo Christmas comes with giving, with relinquishing some of your rights for the sake of other people. And let's give Timothy an opportunity to tell us. Now, Valerie and his family and his team from Goma are looking forward to get to Goma. Timothy is looking forward to go back to Goma, and still he has more hours again to get to Nairobi. But at this point he's telling us he doesn't know whether it is motorbike, whether it is the same route, or how they're gonna make it. So let's hear finally what happened. What did you use from Walikale?
Yeah, now the Valerie had really tried to look for another alternative means. There are some planes that carry the sick people in the village of Walikale there is a hospital that is run by some missionaries there, and so they have some chartered planes that carry only the sick people or the people there who are needy to Goma for more medical attention. And so there is a lot of bureaucracy, really know and call people, and a lot of procedure for you to get a seat in that plane. And so by Friday, by the time we were finishing the conference, our leader Valerie had not received any kind of positive feedback whether we could get a seat in those planes. And so by Saturday morning, we were now faced with the challenge of waiting without any duration of time, just hoping that we can get a plane, or using a motorbike, which again was the guarantee to get into Goma. And now, as I had mentioned earlier in the previous episode, I was facing the challenge of catching my flight back to Nairobi. Paul, the Valerie's son, was also looking forward to some exams that same week. And so we couldn't wait any longer to stay in Walikale. If we had gotten the seats for the plane, we would have just left on Monday, because it is just a 2-hour flight. We would have left on Monday and arrived in Goma safely. But now, because we didn't have that, and the roads, that route was actually worse than the one we had passed from Kisangani to Walikale. Kisangani to Walikale is a Maram road that it is not as perfect, but it is as good. The motorbike can go for a bit faster and consistently. But the one from Walikale to Goma, it's shorter in terms of miles, in terms of kilometers, it's shorter. But in terms of traversing the nature of the road, it is much worse. There are terrible landslides. Some places the road has actually been broken off. You can't pass. Some bridges there are no bridges, so you actually pass through a river. So we had to give ourselves a good time. Again, the rain was heavy. So on Saturday morning, we finally decided to just take the motorbike to Goma, and we loaded our luggages on the motorbikes, and began the journey to Goma. And so we began the journey at around midday, around noon on Saturday 19th, and then that was Saturday on 20th of November. We had finished the training on 19th, and so we get to a town, and the rains start dropping, and it is now around 6 p.m. and it is heavy rains, and so we are forced to sleep over because we couldn't continue in those rains. And we slept the first night, that Saturday night. Then the following morning, we begin Sunday. We begin now, continuing with the journey. In the morning at around 6 a.m. in the morning, we have a very nice trip until we reach the first obstacle, where there is a major landslide that had happened because of the rains last night. And so the landslide was so huge that it had covered the road, and the mud was too much that you could actually drown in the mud. The same way you can drown in water, you can drown in the mud. When you get your feet in the water, in the mud, it covers you all the way to the head. And so it was a very risky affair. When we go to that roadblock, now that landslide, the locals there, the small boys, have mastered a way where you can step for you not to get into that accident. So the first thing is you remove your luggage from the motorcycle. All the luggages is kept down. Then you pay some boys to carry the luggage for you across the mud. It's about a kilometer. The landslide has covered the road up to a kilometer. And so they carry the luggage, then they come back, they carry the motorcycle from ground, literally lifting the motorcycle because it can't move in the mud.
Wait a minute. Viewer, listen to this. Now these people, They have started the journey back from Walikale. They have done the training. They are excited, but the rain again is too much. And you are on how many motorbikes?
We are on 3 motorbikes.
3 motorbikes. Each motorbike has 2 people. And now they cannot be able to go any further on this first day, so they spent the night. Where did you spend the night?
In a town called Lulu or Lewa, something.
All right, there they are. They have spent the first night in that town. Then the following day, what time did you start the trip?
At 6 a.m. in the morning.
6 a.m. This time there was no policeman, there was no soldier
we were just in a...
like the first trip where the soldier wanted to prove he is in charge.
Yes.
So he told them they could not leave as early as they wanted to. This time, you started the trip at 6, and first obstacle there was rain. Now you have found a landslide, and resulting from the landslide, the road has been closed. And it is so muddy that, listen to this, so muddy, viewer, that people have to be carried by the locals who are used to this, and even motorbikes themselves, to be carried, to be taken across the other side. Now this is what we are calling real sacrifice for real Christmas, when people give themselves to this extent. This is amazing, and it brings glory to God. And so, there is a landslide.
Yes.
And the road is closed.
Yes.
The boys are they getting any money?
Yeah, yes, they are making a killing. They are actually spotting a motorbike when it is like a kilometer away, and they run after the motorbike, saying, "I have booked this one is mine, this luggage is mine," and they are just, some are actually as young as 5 years old, but they are not even women with children. They are just looking forward to the next motorcycle where they can actually make an extra coin, and
viewer, listen. Last time,
yes,
in the last episode, we understood from Timothy the economics of Congo, and we remember that somebody gets into an accident, and instead of nursing the wood, chases the gorilla for meat. And then in another episode, somebody would rather eat the meat of the antelope and sell the meat of the gorilla because of the cost. Remember the soldiers who are out there trying to get anything they can get, the struggle for life, for living. And this theme continues in this episode, where the boys and the women, they would rather soak into the mud and get stuck there themselves, so that they can carry the motorbike, they can carry the people, and help them cross, so that they can have an income. Now this is Congo, and these are the real struggles of the people. And this is our ILI team that is going to equip the people to spread the gospel. These are the real struggles. And this is why in this episode, we celebrate Valerie, Timothy, Paul, Shanda the wife, and the entire team for proving to be heroes and heroines in taking the gospel where no one has taken it. And this time we want to really appreciate the fact that somebody is willing to go. This is real Christmas. So the boys, their prayers kind of is answered when it rains.
yes,
And when people get stuck,
yes,
because that is when
yes,
they are able to
yes,
to get some money.
yes.
So they have helped you cross.
They have helped us cross. We have crossed. We have actually the same town, the same place where there is the landslide. Just a few meters ahead, we encounter some rebels come from the forest, and we couldn't tell because they just have like a uniform that resembles that of the army. So for me and Paul, we didn't know. We didn't even think outside the box or think that they could be rebels. So they just come and cross the road.
Hold on like there. Now viewer, Congo as we speak is going through war. the cause of the war historically is the conflict between their neighbors there in Rwanda and Congo. It is assumed that during the genocide days that people ran away from Rwanda to Congo, and they have lived there for so long now, they feel like they have rights. And so in the process of demanding their rights in Congo, then they're in conflict with the government. And actually, our Kenya government has sent forces there to go and help in resolving this conflict. Even Uganda has the African Union forces. So these are the rebels that Timothy has seen firsthand. So rebels have come from the forest.
Yes. They have descended, like two of them come from downhill, like on the left side. Two others come like on the right side, and they block the road. They block the road.
Four.
They were two of them. The ones who were on top are the ones who blocked the road. Then the others from behind came like kind of reinforcements to the others. I think it was a strategy. It was kind of a strategy.
Are there other motorbikes? It's only the three.
No, it's actually a town.
It's a town.
It's a town that has a good population of people. Those are the same people who are helping people cross the landslide.
Is the whole town going to be held ransom by 4 rebels?
Now that is the interesting thing, because I also wondered when later we found out that they are rebels. I asked how because they actually seemed like they are just normal people, part of the people in that town. And I was surprised to hear that some are actually, they integrate with the local community. They are friends. They can talk. They can have a conversation. But I also learned that they have kept the towns where they are. The people are so afraid. They have like taken captive of their minds. They have taken hostage of who they are. They can't do anything. They fear them. They actually fear them.
Are they armed?
They are armed. They are armed.
Even these 4 who are coming,
yes.
Are they armed?
Yes, they are armed. They are armed. And actually, Shada was the one who actually confirmed to us that they are rebels, because when she had gone to look for some water in a certain hotel, and when these guys saw, like the manager or someone in that hotel saw the 2 guys, he was so shocked. He said, "Those are the rebels," and he closed the hotel and ran inside. So the idea, or what we learned they do is they come, they block the road, then everyone who is passing, anyone who is passing pays 500 money, Congolese money, francs. Then for a motorbike it pays 2,000. Anyone, even if you're just walking by foot, you have to pay. So they started charging. They took the money, they collected. Then all of a sudden, we had stopped because of the mud. When the motorcycles were being carried, at some point the motorcycles would drop in the mud, and so the mud got stuck in the motorcycle. So we had to actually remove the mud in the motorcycle. Our feet were, you remember, we were getting inside the mud, so we had to clean up and freshen up. So by the time we were done to get ready with the journey, I think they had enough of the loot that they had collected. So we just saw them again disappear in the forest. I think it was just God creating a way for us, because if they had seen and realized, like for example, I am not Congolese, those are the people who are taken hostage, and then the ransom is demanded later. So as we were clearing and wondering, figuring what to do, we couldn't move on. We couldn't pass. There was no other route we couldn't pass, and just trying to discuss what could we do, what can we do, because we realized this is not a normal roadblock like the ones we find earlier that has the army. So we just delayed a bit, praying together, and just God created a way for us. Those guys just disappeared again, just as the way they had come. They just entered the forest and went, and we were just able to continue with the journey.
All right, viewer, listen to this. Rebels are armed. They have come to block the way. They have rooted from every other person in the town, and they have had enough root. Now they are going back, and our team here has been saved from that. This is because of the prayers of those people who prayed for the team when it is out there. And you are our real Christmas. You are real heroes. Those of you who support teams in prayer, like this team was highly covered by prayers internationally, and therefore we thank you for that. So you have escaped the obstacle. Obstacle number one was rain. You spent the night. Obstacle number two was the mud, and God used the children and the women to help you cross the landslide. Now the labors. So what next?
Now we have to continue, and the rains are actually now starting to drop, but we tell ourselves that we have to get to a point where a town called Masisi. Masisi is kind of at the center. It is now the center between Walikale and Goma, and it is a town that is commonly or majority occupied by the Rwandese, and it's a beautiful town. They have cows, they have farming. That was actually the first time I took tea, good tea with real cow milk, not the powder. We have been, you can imagine now as Kenyans we love tea, and so I have not drunk tea for almost a week and a half. And so we go to Masisi. It is rich. The Masisi is very hilly. It has a lot of hills, and so we spend the night there. It was around 9 p.m. now in the evening. And the rains have again poured on us.
Is this the second night?
This is the second night now. This is the second night in Masisi, and we spend the night. Then we wake up in the morning. We were to leave at 5 a.m. in the morning, and we had agreed by the time we were going to bed the previous night that we were going to wake up at 5 a.m. When we woke up at 5 a.m., Valerie, our leader, out of, I think, again, God just spoke to him, and he told us, now, let us wait until 6 a.m. We are going to leave at 6 a.m. And so we said, fine, now it is Monday. We delayed a bit until 6 a.m. Now, when we left, just about 5 kilometers from where we were, we found that there was another landslide that had occurred just less than an hour before. Just less than an hour before we go there. It had just, and now this one was more dangerous than the first one, because this one is rocky. It has rocks. The other one was just mud. It was just mud, a lot of mud and water. Now this one is muddy, and it is also rocky. And it is from the highest point, the cliff is about 2 kilometers from the highest point to the lowest point. So it is a gradient that is about almost 45 degrees down to the river, a very huge river. So if you, and it had just occurred just less than an hour, slightly before an hour before we had come there. And so we just realized that was just God saving us again. Because if we had left the 5 a.m. we had agreed, then that would have meant that landslide would have just caught us right at the middle of it.
Again, viewer, we really want to appreciate anyone who prays for people out there. Now look, people who are meant to leave early at 6, and now the leader just says, okay, let's not. And just to find that landslide took place an hour, which they were actually supposed to, or meant to leave. So they would have been right there. People died. God rescued them, but they went over through the other side. These are the struggles of taking the gospel in Congo and similar places. Now see how many obstacles that this team has overcome so far. And we praise the Lord for that. So day 1 on the road, day 2, and now
we are now past this roadblock, past this landslide. We are now past the landslide. We have again, it is the same scenario like the other one. You remove your luggage, the kids there carry the luggage for you, they carry the motorbike. And this one was actually more risky because they even had to carry us. Because the place we were to go was to pass through was behind the cliff. So, and there's nothing to hold yourself to, you just hold in the mud. And those who, if you are unable to cross, you have just to be carried by those. And when you are passing, they would say that landslide is not yet over. It is about to happen again. It is going to happen again. The rocks seemed like they were going to break at any time from that moment. And so we have passed, we have gone, we have continued with the journey. Just slightly over a kilometer, we hear this loud bang. And looking back, because the town, as I said, is very hilly. So when you are on top of the cliff, you see the other side on the down of the cliff. And we couldn't tell what happened. So later on, after we have progressed, we find now, we start hearing reports from the radios and the people who are coming from that side, that the same stone those boys were saying is going to crack. It cracked and now came and swept everything that was on that road. A lorry that had stuck there, a truck that was carrying luggage, all the motorcycles that were there, all the men, the children, everyone who was helping those people cross had been swept by that landslide. And it was so massive that they couldn't even account for the number of people who were there, because some were even buried under the sand and that rock and the water. And so for us, we just saw like it was again God creating a way for us. He prevented it happening before we went, and right after we have passed, again it happens again. It was just like the children of Israel creating a way in the wilderness, and it was just God's doing. It was just God's doing.
So these are landslides that you saw yourself just sweeping the place.
Yes.
And saw people buried
Yes.
and dying.
Yes.
Now, viewer, don't take for granted the life that you live, wherever you are watching this from. I mean, can you hear people are dying like chicken? The landslide happens, and people are just covered in dies. Others die through the floods. Others die because of starving to death. Others die because they are killed during the war by the rebels and the government conflict. We hear the story of God's protection, and like Timothy puts it, it's similar to the children of Israel being delivered, the Red Sea, the Jordan, the hunger, they are given manna, the snakes. It sounds like this is like the journey of the children of Israel. So you have seen a lot of God's faithfulness here. So what happens next?
Now we have passed we have gotten to we are now ready to we can now see Goma. We can see Goma. We have, I think, after we passed that landslide, we had the sense that we are now past any other. We can't find anything worse. Now it is just going. The road started getting better. Some bit of tarmac here and there, some bit of maram road, less of roadblocks, and so we go to the last roadblock at a town called Sale, and this is now the worst roadblock that we all feared for, because many people coming from Walikale carry the minerals and those precious stones, and so that roadblock is very strict for anyone coming from that side. And they actually tell you that when you get there, you don't say you are coming from Walikale, you say you are coming from Masisi, because when they say you are coming from Masisi, they'll just think you have carried potatoes or milk or the food products. And this is actually the same town that when the volcano happened in Nyiragongo, people walked from Goma to that town for protection, because that is the only place that was safe. It is not a short distance. And so we get there, and Valerie, again, our leader, God has given him a lot of favor with the people in Congo, and it is also good to see that amid this serious, stone-faced army and police and ruthless people who just want some bribes, they still have some respect for men of God. They really value a pastor and a man of God, and they will tell you that you see, for you as a pastor, we respect you, we respect what you do, we respect that you have come all this way to bring the good news. And so whenever they will tell us, Pastor, you have come. When they saw Valerie, Pastor, you have come. Welcome, welcome. Continue. And sometimes we will see God's favor in those roadblocks. And this roadblock that proved to be so difficult. Actually, the plan was to, when we go to the town, we alight the motorbikes, Paul and myself. We enter into a bus, because everyone who goes into a bus is not checked. They are not asked for any identification. The public means. And so that was the plan. But when we go there, again, I think Valerie just told us, don't worry, let's just go with the motorbikes. It is only about an hour with a motorbike, but with a bus it is about 4 hours. So he was worried that again we will spend again the whole day. So when we go there, we just saw Valerie, and we told him. They asked us, now, where are you coming from, Masisi? And we said we are with that man. He was the last man. And you remember, again, he was the one who was flanking us all the time at the back. So when they saw him, you are with him. Just pass, just go. Without any struggle, without any asking for any document. Just go. And so we have passed now the last, and actually now this is a tarmac road. You can start seeing tall buildings. You can start seeing tarmac. You can see life. Life has started to come back to some sense of normal. And so we are now only an hour away from Goma. You can feel all of a sudden now all the tiredness comes once. You start getting tired more, but you have the hope that I'm getting somewhere safe. Or again, the issues we were dealing with were, one, me going back to Nairobi. Number 2 was Paul doing the exams. And number 3 was security. Because now in the forest, in Walikale it is a forest, and all the way in the road you're just passing through huge tracts of forests and roads that rebels can come from anywhere. And so when you go to Goma, we just felt a sense of peace, a sense of security, like now we are safe. And I remember Paul telling me, in the same motorbike, he was telling me, now, even if they drop me here, I am safe, I am okay, I can get home. When we just passed the last roadblock. And so we got to Goma, to Valerie's home, and now it is Monday. This is day 3 now. It is Monday in the afternoon at around 4 p.m. That's when we got to Goma. And we had a wonderful moment of just praying together, thanking God together. And we actually forgot we were tired. We now got into actually a service. It was more of a service. We prayed, we sang, we just had a very nice time to thank God together.
Now you have arrived in Goma.
Yes.
Valerie indicated in one of his messages about sickness, people getting. What kind of sickness was? When you got there, he indicated fatigue, sickness, things like that.
Now, the interesting thing was that after we were done with that kind of a service, we now took a shower and just had time to rest. And I remember telling each other, all of us, we just told each other, let us go and rest a bit. Then we will wake up later, and we can wake up later and have dinner together. And when we went to bed, when we just slept that 4 p.m., I was the first. I woke up at around 10 p.m. The same day. Valerie was unable to wake up. Shada was unable to wake up the same day. They were And when they woke up now on Tuesday morning, Shada was, she couldn't even move around as with ease. You could see her struggling. Valerie was you could tell that there was something wrong with, especially his back. His back was paining so much. Shada has had a problem with her legs, and it was so we now got again to a moment of massaging and trying to take some painkillers to relieve some of the pain. I think when we got there, we were so numbed by the excitement of getting safely that we couldn't feel anything. So when we just rested, all the fatigue came at once, and Shada and Valerie and myself, actually, even some few days ago, I could still feel some kind of vibration. You know, when you sit on a motorbike for a very long distance, you feel like your body is just shaking.
Yes.
And so,
well, it looked like everyone had a challenge to deal with in terms of fatigue, health, and physical. So, viewer, once again, we want to underscore the importance of people praying when the team is out there, and we are again very, very grateful for those who stood with us in prayer. Now, how long did you stay at Goma before boarding your next flight?
Now my flight was on Wednesday, the 23rd. So we got to Goma on Monday at 4 p.m. So I had Monday evening and the whole day on Tuesday, and now on Wednesday I was to leave at 1 p.m. On Wednesday the 23rd. And so, but there was nothing much that we could be able to do, all of us, because of the fatigue. We were just trying to put up the reports together, brainstorming on the testimonies and reviewing the whole event and what we would. So we spent the whole day Tuesday, actually, when we all now woke up after dealing with our own kind of fatigue. We just sat around the table on Tuesday, evaluated the whole conference, prepared some the reports that were due, and just planning for the future of the training in Congo, and also trying to strategize on the steps ahead for GOA Church in Goma. And we had a very wonderful time of just looking forward to the next few years, where we want GOA to be, where we want leaders to be trained, reflecting all the way from the summit to the training. And now this was now kind of an after or post trip or post mission evaluation that worked out very well.
All right. Well, viewer, we want to thank you so much for your time today. We are very, very grateful, and we want to once again say that this is the Little Christmas episode, and you've seen and heard from Timothy, obstacle after obstacle, and nothing could deter them from taking the gospel. I want to celebrate those who funds such kind of training, or those who sets people out there in the mission. Sounds like just like the deliverance of the children of Israel from Egypt to Canaan. And we really want to honor all the people who pray for the team like this. We mobilized a lot of prayers. We kept sending out prayer requests, and we are grateful to people who supported us in prayer, and even those who funded the training. Those are the little people, little healers, little healings. Those are the people we celebrate this Christmas, and the Christmas is about supporting the gospel to be taken to the most difficult places like this. We are very grateful to God for also having people who are willing to go. Valerie, the wife, the son, and Timothy, and all of them going out there and facing all those challenges. And this time round, we are coming to the final lap to hear about Timothy's trip. Well, Timothy, I am sure that you are looking forward to Wednesday. so that you can catch your flight. And tell us about that.
Yeah, now all my mind could think of was now getting home to my family. I had now it's almost 2 weeks and a half away in this difficult terrain. You know, when you're away in a place that you keep in contact, you can call, you can text, you can communicate easily. That is an easy thing. But now you are in a place where communication is a problem. You have very limited access to internet, and so I was really looking forward to getting back home. And I boarded my flight on Wednesday, and getting back home was a huge relief for me. It was a moment of just reflecting and thanking God for the deliverance. And so my daughter was about to graduate, and so she was really looking forward to me being there. And it was an opportunity for me to just see and being in a sense of belonging, where you have people who care for you, people who love you, people who appreciate your presence. And same as what we teach in our core values of family priority, and it is important that people are able to uphold their families as a priority in whatever they do. And I was sure that they were praying for me, because this is a discipline we have cultivated as a family. And so I felt the sense of love even when I was very many miles away. And I got back home safely. We thanked God together, we celebrated together. And at this point I also want to join Bishop in thanking anyone and everyone who prayed for us, anyone who took their time to just funding the training, and that I want you to be sure that the things I am explaining here, they are good, because you will see the photos, you will understand. But from deep down in my heart, and from experiencing these things firsthand, I want to tell you that any source of funds that you have given to these trainings will never go to waste. It is going to change the lives of the people in Congo. It is going to change the leadership of Congo. And one day I am sure that we are going to have a crop of leaders who are living the 8 core values, and we will have a different Congo. So thank you so much for anyone who funded. Thank you so much for those who prayed for us. Your prayers were felt. We felt your prayers through the journey. Before we got to Goma, before we got to Walikale, during the training, we felt your prayers. And all the way, the deliverance that God showed us was just due to the prayers that you prayed for us. So thank you so much. God bless you. This Christmas, I want you to enjoy knowing that there are people who appreciate the value of training. There are people who appreciate the prayers that you give them. And be sure that as you enjoy this Christmas, you have played a role in impacting the next generation of leaders and changing history globally. So God bless you so much.
Well, viewer. Now that brings us to the last episode with Timothy in his experiences in Congo. But we want you to know, and you have heard that echoed throughout all the episodes, that there is great need for leadership training out there. There is great need for church planting out there and discipleship. There is a very, very powerful synergy between International Leadership Institute and GOA. There is great partnership between ILI and GOA. There is great harmony, great synergy, shared values, because International Leadership Institute, we go and we equip leaders to spread the gospel. And then when leaders are equipped, churches are planted. Now GOA comes in and plants the church and provides the the leadership that is needed to plant the church. And when GOA plants the churches, our goal is to see mature disciples who are compassionately serving. So disciples are made through that kind of shared value and synergy. I want to invite you to be part of this partnership, either by sponsoring trainings so that leaders may be equipped to spread the gospel, or by helping to build a church. In Walikale, you have heard the situation, great need for church. Land has already been provided. Now Varale is looking for a generous donor who can help give a donation to build the church for Walikale people, that they too may know the Lord, worship Him, and serve Him. The sacrifices that have been made by the team that went to equip the leaders, as you have heard, the best gift we could give them is to fund the planting, the building of that church, so that we can have a church for Walikale people and disciples can continue being made. Therefore, consider that to be your gift for this Christmas, for this church building, so that the message of Christmas can be the real reason for this season, by people knowing the Lord and worshiping Him, because it's God's single most desire that every person in the face of the earth, including Walikale, would know Him, love Him, and worship Him. Will you be part of that? Thank you, and may the Lord bless you so much for that. We might bring you 2 more episodes from Varale and 1 from his son, so that you can also hear their own side of experiences. But I want to encourage you to support the work in Congo, support Varale, support his son. His son, by the way, is part of our post-secondary investment. GOA is sponsoring him in the university as he studies theology, and he has a great vision. We'll ask him what his vision is when he comes, but he has a great vision of planting a big church in Congo, and that will be sending out people. So that is the kind of investment that we are doing